had a backpack on his back. Just got up from the railroad track, you know. It's been a hard life on the road. Just laid off, nowhere to go, he said. I don't have the American dream. No fancy cars, but Jesus holds me, and I know what lies ahead of me, 'cause heaven knows I love the Lord. The police were looking down at the poor woman sleeping on the ground. They said, you can't be sleeping here, no trespassing. She shed a tear, she said, I don't have the American dream. No fancy cars, but Jesus holds me, and I know what lies ahead of me, 'cause heaven knows I love the Lord.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Open Your Mind podcast. I am DJ Lou. I got the one and only Joshua. And Amber's also in the house, animal rights activist.
What's up?
Well, thank you for that awesome tune there, Joshua. How are you, sir?
I'm blessed, very well. How are you doing?
I'm also blessed. Thank you. Welcome to the Open Your Mind podcast show. Today, we're going to be talking with Joshua, the Christian/homeless activist. Now, Joshua, tell me a little bit about growing up and your transition into Christianity. What got you into it, and why are you the man who you are today?
Well, I wasn't raised a Christian. I was raised with a very educated family on my mother's side. I never knew my dad, but I maybe talked to him once on the phone or something like that. But
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I never really saw him face to face or anything like that. But anyways,
Wow.
Raised by my mother, and my uncle and grandfather were very much into education, and eventually they both became Christians, but they weren't raised that way. Or at the time, I wasn't influenced from them to walk with Christ or anything like that. So I definitely got into a lot of more sin than I should have when I was in high school and junior high and college, of course. So
Led down the wrong road, huh?
yeah. Now I did some things right though. I got my education. I got a math teaching degree.
Wow.
Graduated with honors, magna cum laude from Eastern Washington University. So I got that part right. But I think when your spiritual life is off, it can still mess you up in your life. Even if you got a good education or a good job. I mean, if you can't stay sober, if you can't have the right relationships with opposite sex or whatever, it can really destroy your life. So, I got involved in definitely some relationships I shouldn't have been in, and I just came to the end of my rope, you could say, or hit the rock bottom, and a voice in my head just said, well, if you had done what the Bible said to do, this wouldn't happen to you. And that's kind of what woke up my mind to God. Is I just realized, yeah, there is a God, and there's a lot of things I've been lying to women or things like that I've done in the past. Is like,
yeah, all those games you played,
yeah,
got you nowhere.
Yeah,
here you are.
Yeah,
but it kind of built a character in you where you saw you did wrong,
yeah,
and you came back to the light and said, I need to fix what I did wrong.
Yeah.
It sucks that we get older and we realize that instead of starting off with a clean slate and just living life the right way from the get-go. I've tried telling everybody, we're on a path, and the more you choose not to go down the right road, you just want to make a pit stop, or you want to make a turn here and a turn there. You think you're going to make a shortcut, but you end up more lost. Just go down that road, and you might find the right life for yourself. But I don't know. There's so many complications with that said. But now, watching your videos on YouTube, talk a little bit about what your signs say and what you specifically want to write so that people get that message.
Yeah. My signs typically they say things like repent sexual sin, greed, Islam, and homosexuality. Homosexuality leads to hell. Be sober. Don't curse, smoke, gamble, or lie. For you, Jesus died. Be forgiven, and basically come to Christ. I encourage people.
And in these videos, people start flipping you off. They start saying your curse words.
Oh yeah.
and most of the time let's watch one of them.
Yeah, so God wants us to rebuke and correct people so they don't go to... The Bible says that if your brother... You didn't listen to me. You didn't listen. You didn't hear what I was going to say.
You gotta listen, lady.
You didn't hear what I was going to say.
You said
Can I finish my sentence? Can I finish my next sentence?
You're saying it's not true.
You just want to argue.
It's not about arguing. It's about...
Can I finish my sentence?
Go for it.
Okay. It says if your brother sins, rebuke him, and if he repents, forgive him.
Your brother. Let me define what that word means for you in Greek. Now see, when Paul gave that message and when Jesus did too, because I know I read the Bible, I look it up and I'm a scholar with it. What you're saying is not correct. When he's talking about your brother, if this man is in church with you, that is considered your brother. Jesus says, go out in the world and be light and salt.
Yeah.
They'll know us by our love. This sign right here makes people hate Jesus. This sign right here that people who don't know Jesus don't want to know Jesus. They won't want to know Jesus. I'm telling you right now, spirit speaks to spirit.
You're lying. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar.
You're a liar. Listen, but here's the thing. Listen to the Holy Spirit
Let me
speak to
finish.
you,
I don't want to
brother,
hear right now.
because you don't want to hear
I
the
don't
word
want to
of
hear
God.
right now.
God says,
The Bible
love your
says,
brother.
repent
I
or
love
perish.
these people.
Luke 13:3, repent or perish.
Repent
That's
or
what
perish.
Jesus said.
Yeah, that's what
So
Jesus said to
you don't
who?
believe what
To
Jesus
who?
said.
To who?
You asked her to
I'm telling you to repent. I'm telling you to
Me to
repent.
repent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should be out here telling people to repent and come to Christ. You need to
This is just a bunch of. So what she's trying to tell you is basically you're wrong. You're the liar, and you're trying to tell her no, you're the liar. So it's kind of weird to me when I hear two Christians arguing with each other, and it just confuses the situation even more to what Jesus really wanted to see society as. So it's not that I hate you. I love you enough to tell you I love you because the Bible's teaching us this. Is what I got across from you. Is the main idea.
Yeah.
Jesus does not love everything you do. He's trying to tell you, take care of yourself. Do not self-destruct yourself.
Yeah.
And these people get the idea like, no, Jesus is patting me on the back when I'm drunk saying, I still love you. You're going to be okay. When you're in that car driving down the street ready to slam into someone, it doesn't make any sense.
Amen.
So when I see you out there warning people that they're going to hell, I think, in fact, that we are creating hell here on earth for the next generations to come. The music is bad. The TV is bad.
Yeah.
We now think it's good to be bad and it's bad to be good, right? Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that when you're standing out there with these people that they're proud to be bad? What does that make you think about when you're out there?
Well, there's one verse in the Bible that talks about they parade their sin as Sodom, and we look at all the gay parades and things like that. There's also another verse that talks about they'll call good evil and evil good, and that's what we see today in society. So it's in the last days it says that basically it's gonna be like Sodom. It's gonna be an adulterous and wicked generation. Jesus, even he came, he said an adulterous and a wicked generation asked for a sign. So he was dealing with an adulterous and wicked generation. When he came, they had him crucified. So we know that those same spirits are at work today, deceiving people. Satan wants everyone to perish.
Right.
God doesn't want anyone to perish.
So I appreciate what you just said right there. You're breaking down it sounds very like another language to me when I'm hearing you, because it's like a Hebrew type stuff, right? And you're trying to translate it into English, which is two different languages. And I heard Hebrew is like one of the hardest languages to learn. So when I try to rationalize what this book means, because there's so much to it spiritually, are you God lover, or I try to break down the dynamics of what is this book actually doing. And I truly believe that the Holy Book teaches us how to behave. Behavior. In other words, a blueprint on how to survive. Because this world, we're not born with the instructions manual. And that's what this book is. It's a blueprint to teach you right from wrong. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. A lot of people that are hardcore Bible readers, they say you need to tell people that hell is real, to fear God, because when they don't, what happens? They don't take it as serious. If they don't fear God, they don't take it seriously. So they're like, well, God will forgive me tomorrow when I confess or something, when I repent. How do you feel about people that do that they abuse it?
Well, the thing is, they don't realize there's repercussions to their sin. Sometimes they think forgiveness means no repercussions. And no, King David, he sinned with Bathsheba, and had Uriah, her husband, killed so he could have her as a wife. But there were repercussions to that, and war never left his home. His child died that he had with Bathsheba, and a bunch of bad things happened. So whatever sin you're involved in, Satan doesn't want you to live, of course. He's hoping you'll die in that sin. But also there's repercussions if you don't die, whether you get an STD or, you get in a drunk driving accident, whatever it is. And so, yeah, maybe you're forgiven, but do you want to end up with one leg missing, or because you got in a car accident, or?
But look at the science of that. I mean, if everyone was doing their part,
Yeah.
you can put your guitar down if you want. If everyone was doing their part and everyone was doing good, there would be less accidents. There'd be less
yeah.
problems. There'd be less of it.
Yeah.
It'd mean less fun. I think that's why people don't want to give it up. Oh, I
Yep.
can't get drunk and I can't party till I fall on my face and wake
Yeah.
up all messed up. I need this sensation of feeling drunk all the time, or I need the sensation of smoking a cigarette that relaxes my nerves, which is all chemicals. It's all scientifically made. It's not even tobacco anymore. So I figured this out. And the reason why I do agree with the Bible is because as a society of 7 billion people now, it used to be 6, it's now 7, we're growing rapidly. We're mating like crazy, and you got children raising children, and people that are having kids and they're only like 17, 16 years old. How
Yeah.
are they supposed to take care of someone when they're barely getting their lives together, when they're barely going to get out of that bird's nest and have to learn what it's like to take care of themselves, and now you have something attached to you called a baby. It's so mind-boggling. So, you know, another video you had with the drunken, goofy-looking teenage kids who became irate with you because your sign on homosexuality. If I can pull that video up real quick. Do you remember this video? This was like last week.
Oh, yeah. That was very recent.
These kids became very irate with you, and they wanted to almost attack you
Yeah.
because of your sign. Let me rewind it. So you're out here preaching.
God says, be sober. Sober.
Let me fix this real quick. Remove, add, screen capture, screen region. Where is this screen region here? Screen capture. Much better. Okay.
God says, be sober. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes, I am. I do. I stay sober. I live sober. I'm sober right now. Now, you guys.
That's a
might
good
not
point.
be sober.
Do you have any addictions or sins that still hold you down from what you're trying to do?
Well, thankfully, I've been delivered from
Stay sober.
a lot of things. You know, I'm not perfect. I still struggle with certain things. I mean, but you know, I used to sleep with a lot of women that I shouldn't have been sleeping with. You know, sexual sin is a big one for a lot of people, and that was my main, I think, stronghold. One of the main ones, and pride too. You know, I didn't really follow God, and you know, God can humble you. He humbled me a lot. You know, and so I've been set free to do God's work now, and I've been celibate for years now, and thankfully God's given me the strength to do that, and just to keep preaching and doing His work. So
You were able to fight off the temptation.
yeah, it's a battle.
Study today. You must be sober. Are you staying sober tonight? Staying out of that sexual sin? Getting out of that sexual sin. Homosexuality. Don't do the homosexual thing.
Wait, is this against?
This against homosexuality, yes. Yes.
Wait, against?
God is against homosexual. Are you against? You should be against homosexuality. God is against homosexuality. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Come on. Read the Bible. Read the Bible.
Now these teenage kids are about to approach, and they do not
Why
like.
is everyone for the homosexuals out here?
Ridiculous and absurd.
I see.
No?
Oh, because you know.
Party, sin, you know. And then, have you I can show you with the Bible verse. Do you want to see the Bible verse?
Yeah, but why do you believe the Bible?
Why do I believe the Bible? I used to live in sin. I used to sin, party, sin, you know. And then there's repercussions to that. You know that?
Yeah.
When you live that way.
But
No-
I think there are repercussions to that if you as a person can't deal with your own inner fears.
Well-
I don't think that you can subject every person or the entire world to shit like that.
Well, you always reap what you sow. You know, that's what the Bible says.
Sir,
Yes.
did you know that the Bible also condones slavery?
Well, they always say that, but the thing is, it wasn't the kind of slavery that was in America. You know?
Oh, because you know slavery was
Well, it was more like an indentured servitude. You know,
What do you mean by that?
I understand.
Can you
Well-
break that down?
Yeah, in American slavery, they had the beating and the whipping and all that.
Yeah.
And God doesn't want people abused that way. So the biblical slavery, like some of the slaves, they would actually have an awl put in their ear, and if they wanted, they could stay with their master. You know, in the Old Testament, it talks about that. But
Doesn't sound right to me.
Well, yeah, it's really what it is though. Is you're willing to basically work for whoever your boss is. In a sense,
We still do in a way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're working for a corporation, it's kind of like the same type
You're
of thing.
still a slave. Well,
Yeah.
you make a good argument there. Let's hear more.
The concept of indentured servitude, but
Yes.
it's not.
Can I ask why you have the GoPro on?
Because in case
you want to
of
be able to spread
emergencies,
that everyone's ridiculous and absurd. Can I speak to the GoPro?
you
real
can speak
quick?
to the GoPro.
Okay.
I hope you're not ridiculous, and you can act ridiculous, but
I
you don't
don't-
have to be ridiculous.
Oh, I think
I
that you're
would
the
say
one
that
who's
this is
ridiculous.
Why would you say I'm
anything
ridiculous?
we might have to say now.
Can I just quickly
Tell me.
just go
Quickly
something?
tell me why.
My uncle is homosexual.
Okay.
And I can't even begin to say in words how close I am with my uncle. But you're telling me that this man who's done so much for me over the course of my life deserves to just So do you think people who are homosexual should die?
I think that they should repent and come to Christ and be saved from hell. That's what I'm here
It's
for.
not a choice, though.
Yeah,
It's not a choice to be
It
gay.
is, no, that's such garbage. Let me explain. I used to fornicate, right?
Sure.
Sexual sin, right here.
Sure.
I can choose not to do that. Now, a homosexual can do the same thing.
No,
he doesn't
they
have.
fucking
He doesn't have to
cannot.
put his. He doesn't have to put his.
So yeah, I agree what you say right here with the choice to not fornicate. I think I'm in agreement with you there. I do have a friend who was gay that was on the show, and he said that he believes that you're made to be gay. He says that when he was a teenage kid, before he hit puberty, he was molested / raped / whatever you want to call it, and he didn't know what was going on. He didn't understand it. It happened, and he was by a close family member, and it shook up his world. As he became a teenager, he began to hit puberty, and naturally, because he didn't know what sex felt like or what it was, the only thing he would understand was what happened to him, and that's why he was kind of persuaded into liking boys, because that's all he knew. A lot of the times I see these videos with even friends that I have that are lesbian, they were molested and raped as well. So in a sense, it's a trauma that the only thing they feel comfortable with, these girls that are lesbian, is a woman, because they do not want to be in the presence of a man and what happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how, for my friend who was molested by a man, wants to be with men, but he said during his development, that's what he started to feel feelings for, is the only thing he knew, which was males.
Yeah.
So are you I don't know how much you looked into this, but you do say gay people need to repent.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way to help them,
Yeah. Well, I think.
if they even want help?
Yeah. The thing is, when they say they're born that way, like you were just saying, an event happened to make them.
Trauma.
Yeah. So when they were born, they weren't thinking that way, but maybe something later in their life might have happened to where they were seduced or abducted or raped or whatever, and that can definitely affect your thinking and all that. So I don't disagree with that. But initially, when they came out of the womb, I'm sure they weren't thinking about having. Like when I came out of the womb, I wasn't thinking about fornicating or anything like that. I kind of learned that from my peers. My peers, what they were doing and what,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Influences.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So that's for them to say it's born that way. It's a choice. But
How do you feel about that? Amber?
I think anyone can be delivered though. If I can be delivered, because I had a very difficult time, just being single and not being with a woman all the time. But if God can get me to the point where I can be celibate for years, He can do the same thing for them.
Right. But celibate being, would you ever get married again? Will you ever try to get married?
I'm not really trying for any of that. I don't think God wants me married, so I just stay on the single path, and seems to be definitely keeping a lot of trouble and
that's what it's all about. I mean, really it is, because I've not been able to keep a woman with me because of the fact that there's just too many problems involved, too much drama, like they want to fight with you. I'm going, I'm not here to fight. Like, I want less problems in my life.
Yeah.
That's one reason why I respect the Bible. Amber, how do you feel about what we're talking about? You want to chime in?
Well, my aunt, she is a lesbian. I forgot her name.
Diane?
No, not Diane. Serena.
Oh.
She is a lesbian.
No, Adria.
No, it was, yeah. No, Serena was a lesbian too.
Okay, go on.
Anyways,
Putting all the family on blast right now. Is it this one? Is it that one? How about this one? All right, what's your point?
and when I saw her with her girlfriend, and they were kind of making out. It kind of like scared me because I didn't know. I was little and I didn't know what that was like, and I was just like, what's going on? And, like, I'm so used to seeing, like, you know, female and males kissing, you know, holding hands or something, and it was just like kind of shocking. So I was just I didn't know what to think about that. That kind of, from that point, I kind of felt like what the heck, gays?
Yeah, but what if
like,
you,
gays are kind of weird, like.
Yeah, exactly. Like what Joshua was trying to say right now. Like, what if you grew up seeing that your whole life? You'd probably be monkey see, monkey do. You'd want to do it too. It's kind of just how we are being raised the way that we are. But do you really believe, Joshua, that gays are taking over this country? You did mention that in one of your videos.
Well, they have a lot of influence now, and they've been working on this agenda for like years. There's actually, I did a little research on the history of the gay movement, and they've started, 50 years or more ago,
same time that the blacks were doing theirs. That's where they learned it from, because blacks were oppressed just like gays are oppressed, and they decided if the blacks can do it, we can do it too. We want our rights, and we will fight for them. And that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing a revolution of gay people trying to fight for their rights. And as you know, gay marriage is legal in 50 states now. Which has never ever been seen before in America, which is crazy. But it's a weird situation for me, because I think that the Bible is telling everyone to be good, but if you are gay, you are excluded from that. You do not have a chance at all, because you're automatically by default going to hell. And I think that is kind of a division towards people in itself, that if you want to have a society working together, you need to embrace them. See, I feel like the Bible was made back in the day to help build a church, and you needed to have kids to build a church. If you were gay, hey, you ain't having kids. We need to build a church. So gays out of the question as time progressed. Now we're 7 billion people deep. We can do without more babies, but I feel like homosexuality can cause diseases, just like heterosexual can cause diseases. My biggest concern is that we are excluding gays from getting married. Well, not anymore, but the idea that marriage is only for men and women. Well, that's a tradition. I get it. But gay people, if you're telling them two people can't get committed to each other, now you have them running around mating with whoever they want instead of two people being committed, regardless of what sex they are. They should be able to have a relationship that is forever, instead of, well, we can't get married, then it means nothing. Let's go mate with whoever we wish. How do you feel about all that you said?
Well,
you don't have to agree either. You can just tell me.
Yeah, I think men are to be as a man. Now, a lot of men today want to act like a woman.
Right.
Now, God didn't create a man to act like a woman, right? And He doesn't want men to be effeminate. The Bible condemns that. It's just like a woman trying to be a man and taking her place, or taking His place. There's order in God's creation, and in a family, it's God, is in charge of the man. The man is supposed to be head of the household, with the wife, and then you have the kids underneath. So, without that right order, society is destroyed. Rome fell because of this type of sexual perversion, and they're moving into pedophilia. I don't know if you know much about the NAMBLA organization, but
I don't.
It's basically a national. It's like an organization for man-boy love type thing, and they're pushing to be able to have these relationships with boys.
Right. I understand that. I understand that's wrong. I understand that a child cannot consent to this type of behavior, even though in some countries they do. I think that when you exclude these people from their rights, they have the right to pursue their happiness, do they not? If they are in America, they have the right to pursue their happiness, just like you have the freedom of speech to go out into the corner and tell people, hey, homosexuality is wrong. You guys need to stop doing that because it's a sin. But couldn't this lead up to bullying? Couldn't this lead up to suicides? Gays are 3 times more likely to kill themselves because of bullying and that pressure of the Bible. God says you're going to burn in hell forever. This is what it's going to be like. You're going to burn forever if you do not listen to us. I mean, this feeling alone, this burning sensation, you're going to feel for eternity. Wouldn't this make it traumatizing for a human being? I mean, when I was a kid, I was afraid to do anything like smoke marijuana because I'd feel horrible inside. I'd feel like I'm going to hell immediately. I mean, could you imagine living like that every day from being a homosexual? Like it's scary, is it not?
Yeah, and we really should feel guilty if we're in sin. If I'm living in fornication, I shouldn't have peace, you know, and God wouldn't want us to rest in sin and think it's okay.
I think the odds of your relationship going well without being married as well would be more difficult too, because you're not for reals. Like this is maybe in the future we'll get married, but we're still sleeping together, we're still eating together, we're still going out together, but we're not official yet, which means we can't make up our minds.
Yeah.
You see
yeah,
that?
yeah. They're just playing around, and what you're doing is you're spoiling yourself for the one that maybe would truly be your partner. Because who wants, you know, I mean, some people don't care, but I think most people, if they were to marry someone, would rather have them not have sex with 20 people before they married them.
Make a great point. You want, like me, I will not date someone with a child. I don't. I feel like it's not genuine. It's not special. It's not real love for the first time. You've already encountered that. It did not work. So what makes you think it's going to work with me?
Yeah.
And I don't want to take care of your extra baggage. So that's just my cold-hearted feelings, because I want something real. And like you just said, who wants to be with someone that's been with 50 different people? But the Adam and Eve theory kind of throws me off, and I feel like it contradicts the homosexual with the crazy behavior and all, because isn't Adam and Eve the first people that were put here on earth from God? Now, they had children, correct?
Yeah.
And those children had to have children to have children to have the people we have right now. So isn't that incest?
Well, you could definitely see that we've all come from Adam and Eve, according to the Bible. So we've all had to, I guess, that had to happen. You know, family members had to procreate and all that. So, but in that time it was okay with the Lord. But now we have so many people. You know, it's not so much the same situation. But the thing is, you'll see though that without man with a woman, there would be no children. There wouldn't be any families. And that's the problem with the homosexual movement and all that. And it's just a perversion of God's order. And God wants order. He doesn't want chaos. And you know, I don't know if you've ever gone to a gay pride parade where they have whips and chains and they're bending over and showing off their bodies and doing all this perverted stuff with all these kids around.
Right.
I mean, really what God would want? You know?
I 100% agree with that statement, being that the gays that are out there are misbehaving. But like, again, we have radicals right now for this revolution, just like we had radicals in the black movement who went to the extra mile to say, you know, we're here, you've been picking on us, I'm going to show you we can even be worse. For example, NWA, the rap group who came out and they started telling people about drugs, gangs, F the police. Like, these guys set a revolution that has trickled down now, where we're so angry at police, which I know there are bad police, just like there's bad everything. My whole point is that there are a few, maybe a lot, I don't know the numbers, but there are enough imbeciles to make a group look bad. Just like Christians, there are crazy Christians that make people that are real Christians look bad. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. The Bible is what we need to follow. Now, if someone isn't following that, it's bad. And that's what I see. Like NWA, obviously, they're not following the Bible.
Right.
They're using foul language and sex with everything they want and all that. So yeah, I'm not a proponent of that either. You know, I think sin comes in every race and color, and sin is what we need to get out of our lives and out of our communities. That's what's destroying our world.
But do you rationally reason with what the Bible says? Like, do you even question it at all? Do you ever think maybe that this is, like, I've done this. I've questioned it. I've broken it down, and this is why I agree with it, because I look at it like I'm the president of the United States. What's going to help our society function? What's going to help our society get their act together? And it's not being friendly. You have to be strict. You have to enforce these rules, because we are uncontrollable. And that's what you're seeing again. They used to have Bibles in schools. They used to have Bibles in courts. They removed those. Now, what do you got? You got a circus. Yeah. You got kids texting during class, sexting during class, doing filthy. That's why I had to pull my sister out of school. She was getting bullied. I mean, these kids are like animals.
Yeah, it's awful.
So I put her in homeschool because I said, I'm not going to let my sister be tortured by this. Yeah. This is crazy. Yeah. So now that she's out of the public school, which is
Yeah.
a disaster.
Yep.
She's doing much better.
Yeah.
Her attitude's better. Her mannerism is better.
Yeah.
And this is because I was brought up with the Bible and Christianity, and I've learned these tools.
Yeah.
Now, my atheist friend would call me a cherry picker. I pick what I like, you know, because I'm not capable of being a complete, perfect Christian. Is it possible to be even better than Jesus?
Of course not. No.
He's unstoppable.
No, he's never sinned, and obviously we've all sinned. So, yeah, it's a struggle to stay close to God, but there's so much blessing and reward in it, you know, and that's what I've learned in my life. So I try my best to stay right where God wants me all the time.
But isn't the idea of Jesus dying on a cross like a form of guilt tripping, like feel bad because he really loves you, like basically come to our side so we can teach you how to be like us, which is not a bad thing, but it's a form, and then you truly believe Jesus really did die on a cross. So it's not so much just a belief system, like you really, really think it happened.
Yeah.
And I think that's the conviction there that makes you an outstanding Christian, is that you really believe in your heart when something happens, it's for a reason, and when you pass away, you will be entering the kingdom of heaven's gates. That's a real no doubt in your mind.
Yeah, and I think, like Jesus says, that once you believe, you have eternal life. So it's in a sense already started now. My relationship with God and walking in the kingdom, and I see the fruit of a lot of blessings, you know, and things that happen as you do that, you know. But if I was to keep walking with the devil, I would have a lot of curses also. So you want to be on the right side of the fence.
Yeah. And so you really believe that there's a hell. I don't want to scare you, but I like putting up this fire to give people a real vision of what hell is supposed to be like. The fiery gates of hell.
Yeah.
But if I could say something,
Go ahead, jump in.
I was researching about, I would say a month ago, and I read some of the verses in the Bible, and this was like a page just saying, is hell really real? And I don't remember the verses, but...
You got to remember the verses.
But
what's your question?
But, I mean, if God, like, really, like, cares about us, would he, like... I mean, we are, from what the Bible says, we are his children. If he, like, really loves us, like, why would he let us just fall to hell?
Well, there is a verse that, you know, Jesus in John chapter 8, I believe it was, he said to the Pharisees that their father was the devil. So not everybody is God's child. In fact, you know, Jesus said that his brothers and sisters were really the ones that did the will of God, not just the people that were naturally his brothers and sisters and that kind of thing. So the spiritual family is like I tell people, spirit is thicker than blood, you know, and there's people in the same family naturally where some aren't going to be saved and some will. And he said he came not to bring peace but a sword. And then he said that family members are going to be against each other in the Bible. So that's what happens when someone really gets converted. A lot of times those that aren't converted will come against them. And then you see the two different spirits working. There's the Holy Spirit, then there's the demonic spirits that are against the Holy Spirit.
Right, but what she was asking was that if God cared about us the way he says he does, we are his children, which you said not all of us are. Why would he let us suffer the way we are? You know, with the people in Africa, children starving, the slavery going on in North Korea, the slavery we had in our past, and yep, those dogs are crying for the slaves that have lost their lives.
You want to go stop them?
No, they're good. They'll stop right now. Why, in fact, with our horrible history, should we believe in a Jesus Christ when in fact that so many have suffered and God didn't appear?
Yeah.
And we talk about free will. I'm gonna let you answer the first question before I keep going, because I have like 10 questions in one all the time.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, this is the thing. The Bible says God promises that, you know, he's going to judge righteously ultimately in the end. So those that belong in hell are going to be there. Maybe they've caused the starvation. Maybe they've been greedy. Some of these rich, greedy people that will plunder land and you make slaves out of the people and abuse people. They're not going to heaven. You know, God makes that clear. So no greedy people are going to be in heaven. It says that in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, 9 through 10. and it's a list of people that aren't going to be there in the kingdom. So
couldn't we let gays in? I mean, what there are some good gays. I don't, because they enjoy having sex with another man, making love. Is it that much to say that they deserve to burn? Now,
well, let me tell you this.
Go ahead.
There's some nice people that are fornicators. There are some very nice people I've met that are drunkards. There are nice people that are liars even sometimes, right? But God says that these people will not inherit the kingdom. They will can continue to practice that. So you might have a couple things right in your life. Like maybe you can be nice here or there, but God wants all of you. He doesn't want just part of you. He wants your sex life. He wants to be in charge of that too. And when you put your sex life before God, that's when you come into big problems.
I'm trying to find the part where those gay guys were coming up to you and they're like looking at your sign, and they're kind of curious to know what's up with your sign. And
I think it's after these guys.
Yeah.
A little later, probably.
These guys kind of upset me the way they were talking about how I like it in the butt and things like that. I'm hearing them, and like they look like fools, and I say it like, oh, why do they look like fools? But listen to the way that they're talking. They look like they're drunken dummies without any respect for anything on earth. Like they're here just to destroy themselves. Like they have no purpose. And that's what's frightening about it, is that they have no purpose other than, let me destroy my body by smoking this cigarette every 5 seconds. These addicted cigarettes, these cigarettes they are addicted to, they can't put them down for nothing.
Yeah.
And then they're laughing about it, and they don't care until they're laying on that deathbed thinking, what the hell did I do to myself?
Yeah.
And that's why I've gone vegetarian. That's why I put down, as much as I can, because I know the repercussions of my actions.
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect. I drink beer still. I still curse. But having people like yourself around help remind me and refresh. You don't need to curse. You don't need to. You don't need to drink as much. You don't need to. My sister's the reason why I went vegetarian. She's the one that, only 13 years old, started doing it first. And I was like, hey, if she can do it, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
But that wasn't my mentality at first. So.
Yeah.
And you have nothing against these guys. You're not there to be a jerk. You're just trying to warn them not to destroy themselves, and they take it so wrong. Listen to this guy, and he's just mouthing off saying, I know more than you.
The Arabic version of the Bible is a dead language where only 52% is accurately translated. So if we are taking
where he got that
52% accurately translated text and taking it at face value, not even taking into account.
That's a child's attitude.
No, that's not a child's attitude.
I'm not talking to you.
I'm saying, so if we take out 52%, so what we
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. He sounds like he's a car salesman. Looking at it at face value, we can lower the price to a couple of notches.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up.
Too many beers or whatever.
Yeah. But man, you're out here, everyone's getting drunk, and you're out here showing them, stop, dude. Stop destroying yourselves.
Yeah. Now, he was supportive of this guy here. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah, you think he's going to come up and punch you, and he comes up and shakes your hand.
Yeah.
It's always a surprise what these people's reaction will be.
Yeah.
We got a couple of viewers right now. You want to play another tune and just show them your talents?
Okay, yeah, we could play, I'll play that song again, the same one, I guess.
No, I'll play a different one. You already played that one.
Okay.
No, the reason why I say that is because I'm going to play that first video with you singing on it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Open Your Mind. We got Joshua in the house. He is a Christian, and he's about to rock his guitar for us. He's got it connected to my mixer, and he's looking for his pick. I think he lost his pick.
Actually, I'm trying to find the song that I had, and where I put it. Oh, the other
It's
one.
called a chip,
The chip pick.
not a pick.
I thought it was a pick.
No, it's pick, you're right.
It
It
is
is?
pick. We're trying to mix me up.
I thought it was a chip.
All right, guys. He's about to wail for you guys. All right, here we go.
Now, this is actually the song I had about gay marriage.
We're going to go to a quick break after he plays this jam. Let me turn it up. And then we're going to talk about Muslims next scene.
I know the King of Glory is coming on the clouds of fire, and he does not want a man wearing female attire. Oh God, please have mercy on this wicked world. So many want to be a man while men want to be girls. There's something wrong, there's something wrong. Surely God is gonna judge in not too long. There's something wrong, there's something wrong. When a woman wants to be a man and a man puts a dress on. They say that I'm unloving, they tell me I'm so mean. When I state that the Bible says homosexuality is wicked like a witch, but still they disobey. They even try to preach to me that sin, it's okay. There's something wrong, there's something wrong. Surely God is gonna judge in not too long. There's something wrong, there is something wrong. When a woman wants to be a man and a man puts a dress on. They say that I'm a bigot, but I've never seen where two men can have a child, and Lord, I've never seen two men in the garden. It was not Adam and Steve. If only the sinners would repent and believe. There is something wrong, there is something wrong. Surely God is gonna judge in not too long. There is something wrong, there is something wrong. When a woman wants to be a man and a man puts a dress on. There is something wrong, there is something wrong. Surely God is gonna judge and not too long. There is something wrong, there is something wrong. When a woman wants to be a man and a man puts a dress on.
All right. There is something wrong. Brought to you by Joshua. Is there really something wrong with wearing that stuff? Yeah, they might have went through some trauma. That's their life now. That's their lifestyle. It sucks for what happened to them. I don't see anything wrong with their choice of dressing, but that's a cool song. I like the guitar work there. Now, bust it.
Oh Jesus, for so long I did not know you, but now you made me strong. Let me never stop living for you. I've fallen many times, Lord, but your mercy came through, and I will live for you. Laying down my life again, and I will sing for you. You are my true friend, and I will live for you. Laying down my life again, and I will sing for you. You are my true friend. Thank you, Lord, for giving me a second chance, a third or fourth, Lord, so many I can't count them. Help me to be merciful, Lord, like you are. Make me holy, Lord, humble and forever strong, and I will live for you. Laying down my life again, and I will sing for you. You are my true friend, and I will live for you. Laying down my life again, and I will sing for you. You are my true friend. Pour your grace upon me, that I might magnify you from sea to shining sea. I love you, Lord, to be in your presence is all I want. Giving praise to you in heaven, and I will live for you.
Thank you for that cool tune. Thank you, Joshua, for being back on the show. Welcome, everybody. I got Amber, the animal activist. I got Joshua, the homeless rights activist and Christian activist. We're going to play a little game now. Welcome to my game show, Joshua.
Thank you very much.
Open Your Mind show.
Hey, I'm not in here.
Where is Amber, the animal rights Amber the pig. Here we go. The pig lover, I should say. Half pig, half woman. All right. That sounds like a scripture from like the devil or something. We don't want to talk about that. All right. Why is there? Okay, cool. Can you pull down that microphone just a little bit, that pop screen, so we can see you just a little bit? You kind of look like me. That's weird. I'm like, is that me right there? Pull down the pop screen.
Oh, it's
there.
this
We
one.
go. Perfect.
Oh,
And just pull the mic up a little bit. I pull it up. There you go. Pull it up
Yeah.
a little bit. You're perfect.
Okay.
All right. Let's start off with the first question. Let's get serious in here. You ready, Joshua?
I think so.
In what city was Jesus born?
Bethlehem.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Sir? That's correct.
I'm not a Bible scholar, just so you know.
You're doing great. Keep it going. Next question. How many books are in the New Testament? Is it 10? Is it 15? Or is it 27? Take your time with this.
27.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, Joshua, I'm sorry, but that's correct. Next question. For this one, we're going to need deep concentration. What type of insect did John the Baptist eat?
Locust.
Let me finish the question. In the deserts. That is correct. All right, let's get to the next question. John, who were the first apostles called to follow Jesus? Take your time.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Well, there was Judas too. Then we have let's see, James and Philip, and
There's only 2, so you're saying too many.
2 apostles called to follow. You mean I was thinking about 12?
Let me repeat the question. Who were the first apostles called by telephone
Oh, I get it.
to follow
Get it?
Jesus?
Yeah. Would it be Matthew and Mark? I'm not sure.
Final answer. That, sir, is incorrect.
Ooh.
The 2 were Peter and Andrew.
Ooh, I should have known
You
that.
got one right, folks. Give him a round of applause. All right, next question. This gets more intense and more intense. Here we go. How many people did Jesus feed with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish?
5,000.
Final answer?
Yes.
Correct. He's on fire, folks. Not in a bad way. In a good way. Question number 6. Let's keep this going here. After Jesus was arrested, which apostles disowned him 3 times?
Peter.
I'm sorry, yeah, 1 apostle.
Just 1.
That's final answer?
Yes.
Correct. He knows his stuff, folks. He only got 1 wrong out of, we're going on question number 7 right now. All right, let's keep this running. Oh yeah, it's getting more intense. Amber,
What?
who recognized Jesus as the Messiah when he was presented at the temple as a baby?
Why are you asking me this? I don't know the Bible. John?
Seriously?
I don't know any of them. All I know is
Go ahead, you want to take this one there?
What was the question again?
Who did Jesus as the Messiah? Let me start that over again. Who recognized Jesus as the Messiah when he was presented at the temple as a baby?
Oh,
I think I got him, folks.
I want to say Zachariah, but I don't think. I'm not sure if that's the
Starts
right.
with an S.
With an S? Sarah? Not Sarah, is it? No, it starts with an S.
Simon. S-I-M-E-O-N. Simeon?
Oh, okay. Oh.
I
Whatever.
think you read
Yeah.
that question wrong.
I did not read that question wrong.
Well, there was multiple people I think that recognized him, so that's why I was thinking of someone else though.
Could have been possible.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, here we go. Only 2 more. If you get these right, you get a free coupon for Shake and Bake. Who asked? Pilate?
Yeah, you
Pilate.
can't even pronounce
Pilate.
it.
Pilate for Jesus. Who asked Pilate for Jesus' body after the crucifixion? Can't read for anything. Sorry, guys.
Man,
These are tough.
So, I want to say Josephus or Nicodemus.
Correct.
Josephus. Yeah. Okay.
That was like correct.
All right. Question number 9. Turn up the music. It's getting intense. Paul was shipwrecked on what island?
Oh wow. Oh boy, that's a good one. I know John was on the Isle of Patmos, but Paul.
Incorrect.
Yeah, I can't remember Paul.
He was.
Malta.
Malta. I remember. Yeah, I've heard that name.
What is the shortest book in the New Testament?
Ooh, could be the book of Jude.
Final answer.
Yes.
Wrong, sir.
Oh.
The correct answer was John.
Really?
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
What do you mean? Let me see.
What is the
Okay.
shortest book in the New Testament?
Let me
To
see.
John. It says to John on it. I don't know what that means.
Oh, well, that I was thinking that would be all can be considered one book. 1 John.
All right,
2
you got to
John,
get
3
this
John.
one. Who is the author of the book of Revelation?
The Apostle John.
You got it, folks. Give him a round of applause. And that's the game show. Thank you for trying. Thank you for tuning in. And we're going into the next segment. Let's see if Amber knows one. Amber, what's the last name of Jesus?
Christ.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the only thing I know.
That's like a freaking given me. Given?
I
Given.
was gonna
Yes.
say God at first, but
Jesus God. He is the Son of God, so it's partial credit there. All right, so now we want to get into your Muslim situation when you were out here on the streets. This was interesting. I couldn't believe the behavior of the reactions you get from people out here. Talk a little bit about where you were and what happened at this point.
This was on Brookhurst Street in Anaheim, a little area known as Little Arabia. There's a lot of Muslim shops and Muslim people there.
All right, and what happened here? You were standing outside. Let's watch. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Why would you say something so cruel like that?
That's not cruel. But Lil Ross is the domestic terrorist.
I mean, I haven't cussed anybody out here. But you must be born again to enter the kingdom of God. That's the Bible. Huh? The kingdom of God. You want to be saved from the wrath to come. Yeah. Jesus doesn't lie.
I have just one question for you.
Yes.
Why are you here?
To save souls like you.
Me?
Yes.
I don't need.
Why did you do that?
I don't need nothing.
Why are you guys so violent? You need
I don't
salvation.
need nothing.
Is that what religion of peace is about?
Nothing. You get the fuck out of here,
Why are you
right?
guys so mean?
You get the fuck
You
out of
need
here, right?
Jesus.
You get the fuck out of here, right? Right? Stupid bitch.
This,
Get the fuck out of here.
dude, this is America,
With a
man.
flying water bottle.
Why are you teasing them?
What?
Why are you teasing them?
I'm telling
And
you
this guy
about
backs
Jesus.
him
I
up.
didn't tease anybody.
But if I
Why did he throw the water bottle
can
at
I
me?
talk? Can I talk? If I come in front of your house,
Wow.
in front of your house
Yeah.
and tease you, what are you gonna do? Of
I'm
course
not
you're gonna do
teasing
the
him.
same thing.
I didn't tease you. I just told you the truth, and you hate the truth. What?
What is he saying?
This
I
is
can't
America.
remember what
You're
he said.
breaking the law. You belong in jail, and you're headed for hell. See, that's the religion of peace. That's the religion of peace.
You make a good point.
Tore up my sign again.
You make a good point that they're
More evidence of what Islam's all about.
they're out of control with their tempers. Not all of them, but I'm saying this gentleman proved that cursing, this filthy language and his spewage. Well, what is he trying to accomplish by doing this to you? Does he think you're gonna stop being Christian because of that? I mean, is he gonna stop being Muslim because of his behavior? Or what's the whole idea of what he is doing? But why is Muslims wrong, and why do they need to repent?
Well, the Bible teaches that Jesus died on the cross for us, and that's the only hope of salvation is his blood that was shed for us. And the Muslim teachings say that Jesus did not die on the cross, and that he was just a prophet. The Bible teaches Jesus was God in the flesh.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
So until they stop. Should have brought the phone in here or disconnected it or something.
No, I think they just wanted to be in there.
They're barking because the phone was ringing.
I didn't hear any phone.
Did you hear the phone ringing? The phone was ringing. I heard it. I know what the phone sounds like. It was ringing. They never do that because you're in here. They do it because they hear the phone. All right, here we go. So we're going back. So you were saying that Muslims, they think that Jesus is a prophet, and he is not, in fact, the true Messiah. And you beg to differ. So
Yeah.
that's the whole feud that we're having right now. Have you read the Quran? Have you?
Yeah, I've read quite a bit of portions of it. It talks about they can kill, or supposed to kill the infidel, and that would include Christians that don't believe. That's why the ISIS, they're actually following the Quran. That's what the Quran tells them to do. So,
Isn't there two different kinds though? Just like the Old Testament and the New Testament, there are the people that are radical Muslims that do believe in Sharia law. What is it called? Sharia law, and that those are the extremists. Just like there are the Christians out there that. I know not the ones in America, but the ones that pretend to be Christians. Like, President Bush said that God told him to go to Iraq, and we're over there just destroying that country inside and out to rebuild it for big contractors to make millions of dollars. Like, the man's not a good man. He is a fraud, and a lot of people hate him because of the fact that we're in these wars killing innocent people to find a couple of bad apples, which might be true, might be not. I don't know. I'm not there, so I couldn't tell you it's true or not. What I do feel like is we cannot afford to be over there, and this country is sinking, like you said, just like Rome did, because we're spending so much money on military instead of taking care of home. When you've been around the block, you see what's going around. There's more homeless people than ever. It looks real bad, and in order to fix this, we have enough money for it. Instead, we would rather be helping other poor countries on the other side of the world that hate us, apparently, and that's not going to fix us. That's going to collapse us from within.
Yeah. And the question is, where is the money they're shipping really going? Seems like the middleman might be grabbing more than they need to.
Yeah, you remember when there was that earthquake in where was it? It was a poor country, and everyone started donating to them, and the money didn't get to the poor. It got to the people that received it, and they didn't bring it. They didn't trickle down to them.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't you think covering women though in the Muslim religion is more appropriate, say, than America, where everyone's walking around in spandex underwear and flaunting their stuff and their goods to everybody?
Yeah. Well, I think the Bible teaches. Well, I know the Bible teaches that women should wear modest apparel. So, and it says not even with braided hair or fancy earrings or jewelry, that kind of stuff. So,
what about makeup?
I don't really. I don't condemn a woman if she's a Christian and she has makeup, but I don't see God as really putting an importance on that. Outward beauty isn't really. It says beauty is vain, but the woman that fears the Lord is to be praised. So, a lot of women are seducing, men and things like that for whatever reason.
Hypnotizing us.
Yeah. And God
crazy.
doesn't like that,
Amber, how do you feel about the outfits that women wear? I won't allow Amber to wear anything like that ever. And if she ever does, I feel like it's disrespect to how I raised her.
Yeah.
And if she were to be 18 and wear something like that, it's her decision. I'm not going to condemn her or whatever. I'm not going to throw stones at her like the Old Testament says. But I don't know if it says that. I'm just joking. But I would feel embarrassed for her and myself because I raised her to have respect for herself. And walking around in spandex underwear is not respecting yourself. It's saying, look at me, I need attention because I'm an idiot. And I see it every day. Everywhere I go, it's everywhere. And I'm not an innocent angel. I do look and go, what the hell? Like, this is crazy. Like, people are walking around naked, and it's literally okay. Like, nobody's going, you need to cover up. And I've made the argument before, a lot of these feminists go, we can wear whatever we want. You men need to keep your eyes to yourself. It's not our problem. And I go, okay, cool. Can I walk around in my boxers, see-through boxers that are white? Or if I'm happy or excited, like an erection, is that okay for people to see? Or what about teachers, elementary teachers? Is it okay for men to be wearing spandex underwear with their body parts showing?
Yeah.
No, it's not. We all know as a society it's wrong, so why are women getting away with it? I also think, there's a double standard when it comes to men that don't have to wear their shirts. I think they should at least have to wear tank tops, because if we're going to say the same rules for women who have breasts, men should cover up too. Yeah. And I'm just a guy who like the beach. You go to the beach,
everyone's naked pretty much.
Everyone's naked. Everyone gets to see each other's parts. It's just and it's temptation. We are still animals. We still are attracted to what we see. Do you think we're animals? I know you don't believe in evolution. So.
Yeah, we were made in God's image. Animals weren't. But the thing is, people can act like animals, and the only thing that can really set you free from that animalistic behavior is the Holy Spirit. When you're empowered by the Spirit of God, then you don't have to. You can take on, like it says, the divine nature. God lives in you.
Amber, do you have a question about animals?
I actually think that we have evolved from fish, because if you look at it, when a baby is in the mom's stomach, really, you just cut off my.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm a jerk. Go ahead.
When a baby is in the mom's stomach, they have this kind of water around the baby, the infant, and when the baby is born, it kind of feels like a sticky, watery. So that kind of proves that we were like maybe in the water when we were in.
How do you respond to that?
Our ancestors, that's what I meant.
We're water from our babies, that means we're fish. I didn't understand what you said.
Yeah, well, the thing is...
Stop doing that!
Well, the thing is, if we really evolved from fish, then there would have to be transitional fossil forms all the way up to the point of a human in the fossil record to prove that, and there aren't any.
There's a big gap, and there's also no visual proof that we can watch evolution happen from animals.
That's true.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is the butterfly, but
tadpole,
the change of kinds.
But that's not really evolution. They're not changing to something as far as a different species. I mean, it's just kind of like when a child grows up.
Right.
That's not evolution.
Right. It does grow like hair and nails and poop and I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. This is fun. So, is women wearing these spandex though? Is that just people abusing their rights of free choice? I mean, is it just our way of saying I can take it to wherever I want because there's no rules anymore? Let's do whatever we want.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people like I said earlier, seducing and trying to get men for whatever reason. And there's men trying to seduce women too. And there's a lot of sexual perversion in society now, and people are thinking with the lower part of their bodies instead of the spirit of God. They're not thinking about that.
I think we've been manipulated. The television, the music is all telling us to hook up. Look at those body parts, look at it, and then ruin your life, because if you're from the bottom, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to get out on your feet. If you're from the top, you're just creating more problems, and you don't care because you can just pay. Like Donald Trump. Oh, I have another kid? I'll just pay it off. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
You said in one of your videos where you were watching a bunch of drunk dummies, what happened to America? What do you mean by this? Can you break it down?
Well, it's America seemed to have been a little bit stronger in the past. It didn't have such an immoral...
television was different.
Yeah, everything was different.
Sesame Street, you had shows teaching you how to learn and be more creative and intelligent. Now you have shows like Family Guy that make a mockery of Jesus constantly.
Yeah.
They make fun of everything. Everything's a perversion, and these are cartoons where children are watching.
Sure.
It's nuts to me. This is the most craziest thing of my time.
Yeah, and Hugh Hefner was a big influence in the society. I know when he came out with a magazine that encouraged people to live for now and don't worry about God or eternity or anything like that, or morals. Just get what you want now, and that had a huge impact. I know him and his Playboy lifestyle and all that had a big impact on a lot of people that bought into that lie, and they're taking it full force now.
Yeah, I agree. I think that man is a fool. And people think he's living his great life with a bunch of supermodels, and he gets to hook up with them every night. And Howard Stern actually interviewed one of his ex-wives. Well, he married her, but she dumped him, believe it or not. So you can't have everything you want, people. She was saying that he doesn't even like to hook up. Like, he likes to lay around and watch movies all day like a child. Like, he doesn't even, it's not about that. But the whole image he portrays is, I get women all the time. They're all mine. So it's not always what you see is what I'm trying to say here, people. You said you were seldom? Is that the correct word?
Celibate.
Seldom. What is seldom? I know I mean something. That's not good. Sorry about that. And you live to do Jesus' work. What do you mean by that?
Well, you got to put, like the Bible says, seek first His kingdom, and everything else will be added unto you as far as what you need, your needs, and all that. But yeah,
you're a servant to the Lord, and you submit. Yeah. Are you submitting like you're a slave? I'm confused.
Well, it says that we should be a slave to the Lord, essentially. I mean, I think that's what Apostle Paul said. But it's either you're a slave to the devil or God all the time.
Wow.
There's no in between.
That's crazy. Couldn't there be a balance though, where you were hanging out with the devil for a little bit, but you hang out with God more, just because the devil has like beer or something, and you just want to take a drink for a little bit? I mean, come back. You're not hurting anybody, but just feeling comfortable. I'm not trying to be funny here. I'm just saying that I think it's so dang impossible to be perfect, don't you think?
I think that we're always going to be improving as we walk with God, and we're still going to make mistakes along the way. But we don't have to continually do the same mistakes over and over again.
Learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, and grow, mature.
I love that.
Yeah.
If you were in charge of this world, Amber, you could ask questions too. I mean, that's why you wrote your questions down. Joshua, if you were in charge of the world right now, you could make the calls, what would you change?
I would outlaw idolatry. I think that's important.
What does that mean?
In other words, false gods and false religions, and I think that's a big part of what happened in America. Is they call it the melting pot. They let every religion go, and you can worship whatever you want, and any teaching can be out there. Wow. So we have these teachings that condemn Christianity, that condemn Christians, and then there's teachings that promote even the Satanic Bible and things like that. They're allowing that to be read and given out and distributed and sold, and so. When you allow these types of things, well, some people are going to buy into that stuff and take it to the limit, and then you have people, promoting their pornography and all that. That's another type of idolatry. Yeah. So you got to get rid of that stuff in a society, and that's what they did in the Old Testament. That's what God said. Is He said to actually stone all the people that were doing those types of things in Israel. Now, I'm not saying that we as Christians should go around stoning people. But there should be laws, and initially our country's laws were a lot more based on the Bible. There was laws against cohabitation. If you weren't married, you couldn't be sleeping together in the same house, living together.
Yeah, I remember I Love Lucy, the episodes, they would sleep in separate beds.
Yeah, even that, and they were even married, right?
Now you have soft pornography.
It's everywhere.
It's filth. I mean, I was driving down the street. I can tell you how many bad things I've seen over the years. That I can go through a million different scenarios, but when that movie Sex Tape came out.
Yeah.
I mean, right there on the billboards, everywhere you went. And still to this day, when I drive down the freeway, there's billboards of strip clubs ready to, naked women, half-naked women, asking you to go over there and give your money away to people that you don't even know that might have diseases. Yep. It's such a scary sight. And I literally was so passionate about wanting to stop it. I wanted to go up on that billboard and just spray paint over it and put, this is filth or this is poison. Yeah. But now I'm in jail. Now I'm in the system. Now I'm the bad guy for doing something I feel like is genuinely wrong. Anyway, what do you think heaven will be like?
Well, the Bible doesn't explain everything about heaven, but we know that it's going to be filled with people that do God's will, that serve Him, and that don't worship false gods and idols, and that praise Jesus Christ. The heaven's filled with praise to the Lord Jesus, and actually the destiny is to rule and reign on the earth with Christ. You see in the 1,000-year reign of Christ, the servants of God reigning with Christ on the earth for 1,000 years. So
I'm sorry, this whole bit just sucked. I can't even get my
your
clouds to show.
Going.
Yeah, it's not good. It usually just plays right when I click it, but for some reason...
Maybe because the music was going too?
No. It's... Let's see if my fire will work. Oh, hell's not working either. Let's see. Anyway, I'm sorry. We'll just keep going. This thing is just crashing on me. It's all good. Oh. Then I keep trying. Like, that's just my mind. I never give up. But I hope to make it in heaven as well. Like you said, you have to go to God if you think you're going to make it in heaven. And I'm just a guy who's just spiritually connected, but I need to make that leap and just start really disciplining myself into focus and building myself to be something. So I make these videos because they help remind myself, like, hey, you were talking about this, you should do it. You know, don't just say things. When you say something, you should back it up by doing it or already have done it.
Yeah.
So that's why I make these videos to straighten myself up. And little by little, as you can see, all this I built wasn't from being sloppy, it wasn't from being lazy, it was from fighting hard work to make it happen. So
yeah.
Amber, you have a question?
Yes. What's your like visual picture like of heaven, like how it looks like?
Yeah, is there like clouds in it and all that?
Well,
You're still trying.
Definitely like clouds ain't working.
Yeah, there's definitely clouds, I'm sure, and it talks about there's the tree of life and rivers and things like that. So I think it would be kind of a beautiful picture of what the nature is like in our world, without all the pollution and corruption and evil. And you think about the Garden of Eden. There's I think there's a lot of things there that might be in heaven too.
Kind of like how the Native Americans had it before everyone came and destroyed it.
It could be something like that. Yeah.
I have a theory, and this is actually a weird conspiracy. Let's say Amber grew up to be an adult, and she had a child, and she passed away. So she was like 25 years old. She got in a car accident or something. She had a child, and the child remembered her as an adult, 25 years old. The child grew up to live a long, full life, let's say 60 years old, and then the child died. Would she go to heaven and see Amber as a 25-year-old, and she would be 60 years old, a kid?
That's a great question. This is what's interesting is when Jesus was crucified and then
hello, mother. You're like this little kid. You're like,
yeah. It's hard to say because when Jesus was resurrected, he had his resurrection body, and you could see the scars, that he had on his hands and in his side from the spears. So, will we have the exact same form that we passed away in when we get to heaven? Is a good question. I don't really fully understand all that, but Jesus seemed in his resurrected body have a similar type of body that he did when he was on earth, before he was crucified. So
all right, throw some questions at him before he's got to go. Come on, let's do this.
Okay, so I'm a vegetarian, of course, and I believe all animals should have the right to live freely without being tormented and being abused and killed for our taste. And I pulled up some verses in the Bible, and this one is Genesis 1:29, and it says, "And God says, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seeds to you, it shall be for meat."
What does that mean?
And so, in my perspective, I think it's saying, here is all these healthy vegetables and all these healthy natural
foods,
things that came from the earth. You eat this and don't kill any
vegetables, nuts, fruits, plants, all for our body. They all do something for our liver. Any part of our body those plants do something for. But meat, what does that really do for us? Gets us cancer.
It does have a protein in it, which is B12, but
what you're trying to say is that scripture is saying don't eat meat, really. It's saying you don't need meat. Here's everything else.
Yeah, basically.
Is that true?
Well, there's a passage too where Paul talks about you can't really condemn people for eating meat and things like that, and we shouldn't judge each other for that. So it is okay. It says as long as you give thanks for this, whatever you've been given to eat, go ahead and eat it. So you think about, let's say you're in a country where there aren't a lot of plants, but let's say all there is beef. Are you going to starve and not eat the beef, or are you going to eat the beef? That kind of thing. So
makes a good point. Yeah,
you can't really put what you eat in a box like that. But I think it is a healthy. I went vegetarian for a while, actually, as God was leading me into more to live that way for a while, and I did feel a lot of benefits of it. But I think really you have to go with what God's leading you to do. You know, if He calls you to maybe forgo eating meat for a while, then you do that. But you can't say that everyone has to do that, and if they don't, they're sinning, because that's not in the New Testament. And Jesus, interestingly enough, He ate fish after He was resurrected in a resurrected body. Now, obviously, if God in the flesh is eating fish after He was crucified and resurrected in His new glorified body, I don't know, maybe there's eating of fish in heaven. But all I know is He ate fish here when He was resurrected, which was.
But doesn't the Bible say, "Thou shalt not kill"?
Yep.
Humans.
Oh, it says.
But
humans?
it doesn't. Wait, but it doesn't say like quotation, or it doesn't say parentheses humans only.
Well, if you look in the Old Testament, they actually sacrificed a lot of lambs and a lot of other animals during the Old Testament times before Christ came, as a covering for sin. So it was not that was what gave you forgiveness, but it was just something that they practiced until the coming of Christ. So that's in the Old Testament. Tons of animals were sacrificed in the temples, or the temple in the Old Testament.
So the Old Testament's before Christ, and then the New Testament is after Christ was here. And I always ask, why didn't Jesus just write an instruction manual for us? Why have other men write it for us if He wanted us to live the way of His lifestyle, which was treat people the way you want to be treated, do not sin, do not, all that. What do you think? I mean, this might be too much. I know. I just like to ask questions.
No, it's okay. No, He just wants man involved, I think, in ruling on the earth. I know that. You know, He actually wanted Adam to rule with Him in the garden. But in the garden, Adam gave up his right to rule in a sense when he chose to sin with Eve, instead of being the man head of the house and saying, "No, Eve, I'm not going to eat that apple."
Right.
Or I should say fruit. Doesn't really say apple, but he chose to sin with her. So as men, we're supposed to be the head of our households and to rule well with God, and to do what God would want. And then God uses us to promote His way in the earth. And that's what the apostles and prophets were used for. They wrote the New and the Old Testaments and give us the instruction, but that's the Holy Spirit working through them. And the Holy Spirit is God. It's the third person is the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, the three persons of the Godhead. And it's not just a man, but rather God in the man writing these words.
Does the Bible say, "Give everything you have to the poor"?
Well, there's portions where Jesus commanded that to, like the rich young ruler. He said, "Sell all you have, give to the poor, and come follow me." Kind of similar to what God asked me to do years ago. I used to be a math teacher, like I think I told you that already.
Yeah.
But not everyone was commanded to do that. Some were just commanded to, like He told the woman caught in adultery. He said, "Just go and sin no more." He didn't tell her to leave everything she had and follow Him. So everyone was given different things to do as God led each person.
But imagine if we all shared and we all did give
what
we had. Like me, I've given a lot just because I was told, and I don't do this intentionally just because of my dad told me, but he said, whenever you give, it comes back greater. God will give you 2-3 times more.
Yeah.
And I don't do it because of that, but I do it naturally because I feel like, hey, I feel your pain, or you're a brother to me or a sister. I want to, give you some money, or I want to help you, maybe, give you some food. Whatever it does, it makes me feel good. Not that, I can't wait to get my reward after, but I'm helping somebody.
Yeah.
Got a question? Are you all out? Does Exodus 21-7 in the Old Testament say you can sell your daughter?
I don't have my Bible here with me. I have to
skip
look
that
at
one. Have you read Leviticus 20-13?
I've read the whole Bible, but I have to look at it.
Regarding homosexuality? Does it say if you were gay, you're going to burn in hell?
Well, there's one that says man should not lie with man, and if they do, it's an abomination, and they should be stoned. So, but then in the New Testament, it says that homosexuality, those that practice that, will not inherit the kingdom of God in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, 9, and verse 9 and 10.
Do you think we're in hell right now?
No.
With everything that's going on, the destruction, the wars, the killings, the starvation, the prostitution, the slavery, the child slavery, the factories,
animal slavery,
the animals being mutilated.
Hell is a spiritual place where people are going to be sent in the lake of fire in the afterlife. So that's not what earth is. But I think a lot of people on the earth are headed for hell just by how they're acting and rejecting Christ and doing whatever they want.
We're going to self-destruct. I mean, look around these other planets. There's no life on them. What have they done to stop the life there? Are they nuked each other? That's what we're going to do. With Donald Trump and his crazy temper, or Hillary Clinton and her lying, and all these other countries that hate us, it's like we are so stupid. We should take advantage of this great planet we're on. We should enjoy every moment. We should wake up just like, I can't believe I'm here again and I get to walk around. I'm like not attached to the earth. You mean to tell me I could walk and I can just walk around it and look at the mountains and look at the snow? No, we're like sitting there on a couch with a potato bag and we're watching TMZ, wasting our time. It's nuts.
Yeah.
There's so much to see in the stars and what's beyond the stars. And now if God created Jesus, who created God?
Well, Jesus was the creator, or is the creator, I should say. He's Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. He's not less than God. So God wasn't created. And regarding the earth, what's interesting is the Bible actually teaches that God is going to restore the earth, really. He's not going to allow it to remain in its bondage and to decay and all that. So he's going to be restoring the earth. It says also in Revelations that God is going to destroy those that destroy the earth.
Good.
And then it says in Revelation 18 that the merchants will weep because no one buys their cargo anymore, talking about the fall of Babylon. And a lot of there's the commercial Babylon, where there's a lot of why the earth is the way it is because of greed of man. And,
yes.
So
we've lost our ways, and that's why the Bible again is probably right 100%, because maybe not 100% to me, but to you 100%. To Amber probably like 15%. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Wake up, snap out of it, man. You're dying over there. So thank you for coming on the show, dude. I really appreciate your time. Did you have a question for the guy?
I don't.
All right. Well, you did a great job on the show, man. It was really cool. Can you do a little outro song? Did you want to leave any final statements too? Did you want to leave the viewers out there? What should they do for God, and what should they do to make this world a better place?
Well, I think ultimately everyone should have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. That's the most important thing. And if you have any questions about that, you can always email me, servingjesus99212@yahoo.com. That's my email. I also have my YouTube channel. It's just R.Joshua Collins. You can write me through there. A lot of videos there, too, you can watch.
Yeah, you have 1,000-something videos. How are these all from your camera, or for like other stuff you've uploaded, or what?
Well, they're all pretty much either from my iPhone camera or I got a GoPro now.
How many years have you been doing this?
I think it's been maybe 3 years now, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of Muslims attacking you. It's pretty crazy.
A lot of Muslims, they get quite upset.
I guess, I mean, how would you feel if someone had a sign saying Christians are all bad or something? I'm just giving you a little example.
Well, it's funny. Sometimes when I'm preaching, they'll come and make their own sign and stand next to me. But I don't.
They'll make their own sign.
Yeah.
One of those signs like screw this guy.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But I don't go and attack them or rip up their sign or anything.
Well, that reminds me. How do you feel about the Baptist Church?
Which one?
The one in
the one that are saying
God hates fags.
All that kind of stuff. Well, that's not my approach really to preaching. I think
extreme, man. That's like.
Yeah, I don't even like to use that word, honestly.
Sorry to say that.
No, it's okay. But yeah, I think I just try to stick with what the Bible says. This leads to hell, and encourage people to turn from sin. But
I just want to tell you people, you're
fools, ignorant fools.
All right, Amber. Any closing statements for Joshua? Do you agree with what? Oh, sorry. Let me turn you up.
Oh.
Do you agree with what he was saying? Any disagreements there that you can battle with him right now before he plays his tune? What did you feel during the conversation? Nothing? All right.
You're right about, I mean, like how homosexuals, they are kind of, I mean.
They're misguided because the Bible's excluding them out, saying you're not allowed to come in. Therefore, they're not going to follow the morals they're supposed to.
Yep.
And it's all because of a sexual act that they enjoy doing. So it's like you got to at least meet them halfway and say, listen, we still want you in heaven. The homosexual thing, we got to push it aside real quick. Just do good in the society while you're here, because you're still poisoning yourself. You're partying all the time. And not all homosexuals, but from what I've seen on your videos and from what I've seen around the world, these guys do not, and girls do not have any moral compass.
Yeah.
Not all of them, of course. I'm saying some that I've seen, they look like they're outrageous, like a lot of the community in the ghettos. There's no connection to morality anymore.
Yeah.
And I think they have a grudge towards the Bible because it's like saying you're not welcome.
Yeah.
You don't belong in here. That's what it seems.
And what Ice Cube say, sex, money, and power, something, one of his songs, I can't remember, but that's kind of what runs a lot of people's minds now.
Yeah.
Is those three things.
Getting rich, having the power, having all the fame.
Yeah.
And then you see all these superstars that are on drugs, all messed up, they're going through divorces.
Yeah.
Because money is not the answer, man.
No.
Money can't buy you love.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's right.
All right, we're going to get exclusive track here from Joshua, who's going to play his jam. Listen in. And we're going to leave you guys like that. Thanks for tuning in. What's the name of this song?
The Day of the Lord.
All right.
Oh Lord, I weep for what I see. Your people drenched in blood, oppressed, raped and hung. But I know there's a day when every valley will be raised, every hill will be made low, and righteousness will flow on that day of the Lord. On that day his vengeance will go forth. On that day of the Lord. On that day his vengeance will go forth. So I wait for that day. I watch and I pray. I seek your face in these dark, evil days. For the innocent I weep, for the innocent I plead. When will you avenge the blood of the innocent on that day of the Lord? On that day your vengeance will go forth. Jesus, we need you. Lord Jesus, we pray you come soon. Lord Jesus, we need you. Lord Jesus, we pray you come soon. So I wait for that day. I watch and I pray. I see